I work from my home and have rented a studio in the Old Town above one of the music stores. I share it with a group of younger musicians, but they have their own space and we get along well. I enjoy the thought of having young people nearby. It's interesting how quiet the process of making music has become. Not a sound escapes their studio, other than on Fridays, when they have friends around for drinks before they leave in the evening. Our music is trapped inside our computers, our studios, and our heads. Perhaps I am a trifle early today. The park is even quieter than usual. I don't sleep well, and I get up when I wake, sometimes very early. I no longer carry a watch. There's nothing that requires me to keep the exact time. I try to live with my body, allowing it to decide the pace. When I pass the church, I'm surprised to see that it's only just after 7. The light is different from what I had expected. So I walk a bit longer than I usually do, down the eastern side, before I stop and sit on a bench to wait for the sun to reach above the trees. I watch the rays that thread through the new foliage, painting a flickered pattern on the ground. My eyes fall on the gravel by my feet. There is little litter in this city. Perhaps it's not yet prosperous enough to afford to discard much. But here on the ground, just by the toe of my shoe, there is a hair clip. I bend forward and pick up the small metal object. I put it on the palm of my hand and close my fingers around it. And I remember another hair clip. The memories come gushing back, competing for my attention. Strangely, I remember in reflection, not the original event, but the memory of it a year after it occurred. Perhaps this convoluted process allows some sort of understanding of the incomprehensible. I don't know, but it's my own earlier thoughts triggered by another hair clip that fill me. That, and the remembered sound of my daughter's voice. Our daughter's voice. I remember the silence, too. The selective silence before, and the total silence that came after. Silence was imposed on me from the very beginning, and I lived with it until it became my own. There were no answers, so there was no place for questions. Thinking about it now, it seems extraordinary that I was so accepting. That I lived for almost 60 years in such a deafening silence, and eventually came to make it my own. Sound is not always the opposite of silence. There can be sound over a gulf of silence, disguising it. Perhaps that's how it was with my music. I created it to hide the silence. When did I begin to listen for the sounds? To hear the elusive voices whose absence had been at the center of my existence, like a blind spot in my eye. I can take one individual note out of the music I'm trying to write at the moment, and it could belong anywhere. Yet where it sits, where I have placed it, it follows what came before and leads to what comes after. Without it, the whole would not be as it is. As the composer, I must know each individual note in order to make the whole. Like the colors on an artist's palette, on their own the notes are absolute, yet when they are placed in a particular work, their individuality becomes one with the whole. They have to be chosen for what they are, red, yellow, blue, but with the effect of their combined potential in mind. It's necessary to know the parts in order to make up the whole. It applies to music, to art, and to life itself, I think. When you listen to the finished composition, or when you go about living your life, the individual components join to make a whole that can so easily be taken for granted. But it's not until you become aware of the parts